If you're using PaintScout and looking for a way to automate a few more of the redundant tasks that inherently exist when you are creating quotes, trying to update your CRM, work orders, change orders, all that stuff, in this video, I want to dive into specifically the Zapier actions that PaintScout has in their Zapier integration. So if that's of interest, stick around because that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris. I am the owner of Boolean Automation, where our mission is to free you up to do what you love. The way that we do that is by helping companies identify the tech and the software that they need to scale their business from $1 to $2 million size all the way up to $10 or $15 million. And we work specifically with mapping out the process, all the data, everything. In fact, I've never done this before, but I might as well show you. One of the things that we frequently do is we make a data blueprint and a process map of exactly how the information flows in a painting business. So we do everything from when a web form is submitted, we want to do a series of things. We do all like when we log calls to try and schedule appointments, what do we want to have happen? And it depends on the outreach number. When an estimate is booked, what do you want to have happen? And this is actually affecting PaintScout. We have a create a PaintScout quote action, as well as company cam and other things. So that's what we do. We help map all this out for painting companies, and then we actually do it for you, show you how to use it. And we're able to eliminate about 80% of the data in your business or the manual work in the business from on the back office side of things. So if that's of interest, grab some time on our calendar down below and let's get into this video. We have in another video, I'll link down below. I went over the triggers. So PaintScout has, if you're not familiar with Zapier, you have triggers, which initiate a series of automations. And then they also have actions, which are the series of steps or things that you want to have happen after a trigger initiates it. So in this case, PaintScout has a series of triggers that I want to walk through. We'll just go line by line. These are the various events or actions that you can have happen. So the first one is I can create a contact. Just like you would think, this could be like when an estimate is booked, I want to have a contact automatically created in PaintScout, which we do frequently. And I want to put all the information, their email, their phone, their address, all that stuff into PaintScout automatically. Super easy to do with that. If you need to create an invoice, you could have a trigger that's set up when your finance department has some sort of action or thing or trigger that they do, it could initiate generating an invoice for the client. You could also create a quote. This is probably the most common thing that we use. And this again would be, as I showed before, when an estimate is booked, we have a whole series of things that happen. We update or create a contact, update or create a deal, and then we create a PaintScout quote, a company cam project, a Google Calendar event, and then go back and update your HubSpot deal or your CRM deal and record with all the information of the quote, the company cam project that was created. So what I mean by that here is when you create the quote, first of all, hopefully you created the deal in your CRM first. You save, I'm actually going to show this. This is a super valuable tip here. In the action here, when I create like all this, the quote type you would select as your project type of whatever the customer is choosing. Down here at the bottom, this source ID. What we do is we make the deal in our CRM first. Then we have the next action would be create the PaintScout quote. We save the deal ID, the record ID in the source ID field. So then later, when the quote gets sent to the customer, we can map the record ID of that deal in your CRM because the quote itself has this source ID field that's hidden here. And we can go grab that deal from your CRM and update all the information in there. So super, super valuable little tip there. That is the create a quote action. And again, like I said, if you're going to create a quote, I would recommend creating that quote after you've already made the deal in your CRM. The other thing you can do is update a contact or a quote. I'm going to tackle both of these at the same time. This would be like updating their name or email or phone number or something. The quote, things that you might want to update. Maybe you had the wrong address or you didn't know the address when you generated the quote, so you wanted to come in and overwrite that. There was a typo in the email, you could do that. But as far as updating the quote in PaintScout, other things that I've seen people do is they will come in and adjust the tax rate. So depending on your tax codes, you might not know which tax rate you're using until you get out there, depending on the county or whatever, and you could have the tax rate be adjusted after the fact, for example. That is the update quote. And then the last ones here are just find a contact, invoice, or quote. I want to show you this one really quick. When I am searching for the find quote, I can choose, do I want to display this as either the quote or the work order? So I'm going to say the quote. Then what you're doing here is you can fill out which information do you want. So in this case, I'm going to return quote number 14, and I'm going to hit continue and test step. And it should be returning to me this quote number 14 with $3,693. Let's see. So it did find the quote, and it has all this information on it. So if all you had was the ID of the quote, you could actually return the information. If we have the total, 3,693, is that what we said? 3693.11 and 3693.11. So that's how the find a quote and the contact works very similarly. So hopefully that answered any questions about the actions. Again, any Zapier work that you're doing, it gets more powerful when you first make a plan for all the processes in your business and then decide how to automate and what to trigger what. Because when it comes to Zapier, you can do a lot of stuff, but you can do even more with a plan. And so, like I mentioned, we help people map out processes like this. And we do this before we begin automating, because once you make the plan, in this case, all of these red boxes are automations. The blue and pink boxes are customer or employee actions. And you got to have logic. That's what those white diamonds are. So if you've got any questions about automating your painting business, please don't hesitate to reach out. My name is Chris. This is Boolean, where our mission is to free you up to do what you love. We will see you in the next video.